how do you propose to enforce your values into such organizations, such as Pence and Trump?
We will look at an idea whose value to the market is very important. We look at the market, we look at the value system of the entrepreneurs, because value system is extremely important. That's what helps entrepreneurs run the initial marathon, which is very, very difficult. So definitely we'll look at value system as an important factor in determining our investment.
बड़े बड़े लोगों को सराहा जाता है, लेकिन बड़े बड़े लोगों को कहीं न कहीं उन पर उंगली के निशान भी उठते हैं. Lots of interesting things have come up, and more so to do with the Bangalore airport issue. The jury is out on that, would you say?
You know, I have not read the report, so it's very difficult for me to comment. However, having said that, all of you and the newspapers, one day they said I have been indicted, and next day the same newspaper.
What was your responsibility as when you took up the position?
Well, my primary responsibility was to liaise with the central government,
right,
and the state government to make sure that the shareholder agreement was signed, to make sure that the concession agreement with Government of India was signed. I met Shri Vajpayee probably about 10 times when he was the Prime Minister. I met Dr. Manmohan Singh about 4 times. I met the successive finance ministers about 20 to probably 30 times. I traveled to Delhi about 50 times for various meetings. So my responsibility was, well, not my responsibility, my responsibility was to guide the board to come to the stage when financial closure was possible.
Do you think you were found wanting in those responsibilities?
I think that is not for me to say. That is for people who watched me closely, who have data on my performance to comment, not somebody who has no idea what I did. That I wouldn't value. What I would value is the members of the board of PIAL who work with me, the chief minister during various times, the finance ministers at the center, the prime ministers, both Mr. Vajpayee and Dr. Manmohan Singh. I think they're the ones that can comment on it.
The essence of this question is not about Mr. Narayana Murthy. It's basically, it's a system of this country where a lot of people become a lot of parts of a lot of committees and a lot of boards and a lot of governing bodies and advisory councils. And when something happens, they tend to distance themselves from whatever happened on the assumption that there was no direct involvement. Now this basically marks a question mark on the entire system in which things are done. Do you think that there's a systemic failure?
Well, you know, let's understand one thing, that we are a democracy, but we are not a well-functioning democracy. If you look at our performance in any field, it's really not to our satisfaction, not to the satisfaction when you compare with global levels. So there are systemic issues. So I don't think it requires a rocket scientist to recognize that.
All right. Now the point is, if we have to recognize something, how do we go about recognizing that? A better place, India, a better place, and a better world. You've written a lot about that, but why is that still not being followed?